Hey guys, Granite Fuel Injector Services. If you're ever looking to find us, fuelinjectorservices.com and phone number 716-427-4599. Here with the Flow Bench, I can tell you that I'm not an influencer. I know this because I've done this video like 5 times now. But I'm getting better at it every time. So, what's the point of this video? I'm going to show you something that everybody's going to be impressed with. If you're a race car guy, I'm telling you, you're going to be impressed with this. So upgrades to the Flow Bench. I think I discussed it in an earlier video. We went from a box full of wires and relays and whatnot to an Arduino. That's been great. It's gotten me 6 months of really awesome use on the bench. It's allowed me to change some things way easier. I used to have to pull the drawer open and change all the timers when I went to a big injector because I didn't have, a 900cc injector, 900 pound an hour injector would still top these off, even as big as they are. Very unwieldy, very not user-friendly. So the Arduino helped. Now I have, you can't see it, I don't think, but let's see if you can see it. Oh yeah, you can see it. So under here is a Max Machine flow sensor. This is one of the biggest ones they make. It's up to 30 liters a minute, which is 3 times what I need for the biggest injector on the market right now. Should give me enough headspace to do this for a long time without having to change that out. Super cool unit. Goes down to like 1 cc a minute. Goes actually to half, I think. Half cc a minute is what it's rated at. Up to 30 liters a minute. Ridiculous amount of fuel. And for you guys that want that's 7.5 gallons a minute. So that thing's moving a decent amount of fuel. And that's per injector. Guys are like, oh, I got a 40 GPM pump on my car. Yeah, you do. If this was in a car and I was doing 8 injectors with it, it'd be a 60 GPM capability for one injector. You know, it'd be like a 60 GPM pump in your car. I'm only one run injector. That's why I don't need a 60. But going through that sensor at that level, that's a lot of capability. What's cool about it is now the Arduino gave me modes and all sorts of cool stuff. It talks to me now. The other one didn't talk to me. It keeps me busy at night. Keeps me happy. It also prints the data here, and now I've done a later upgrade where it actually puts the data on the spreadsheet for me. Pretty cool. I can literally be working, because I'm a one-man band most of the time. I can be working somewhere else, packaging stuff or getting stuff unpacked and whatnot, and the machine is doing most of the work for me. So the problem I had, though, is when I went to the sensor, I could only pulse 1 injector at a time. I used to do 50% duty cycle at about 6,000 RPM. The equivalent of 6,000 RPM in a sequential motor was the frequency of pulse. And because the injectors, one was pulsing, one was off, and then they would switch. Because of that, the fuel movement through the rail was relatively consistent, and the fuel pressure vis-a-vis was relatively consistent. Now I can't do that. I tried to get the sensor to catch the injectors while I was doing that on-off. I wasn't getting the data accuracy that I wanted. The best way to do it was pulse 1 injector at a time, put everything the injector does through the sensor, and then read that. Problem is, 500 pound an hour injectors turning on and off 50% duty cycle is brutal. Actually, I blew in an earlier video. I blew an O-ring, fluid everywhere, and that's what it's. I mean, that's the risk we all take with these O-rings and these pressure spikes. You don't see it because it's under the car and the car's making noise and vibration, but here I see it because it shakes all the stuff off the bench, and it literally shakes the fuel rails and my screens and everything else. Not only is that not good for getting good data, but that's going to eventually probably destroy my sensor. It's not good for the fuel pressure regulator, not good for the fuel pumps, not to mention I risk a fire from O-rings blowing out. So I needed to fix this wild fuel pressure spikes I was having. So Holley makes a fuel pressure damper. This one is their extended range, 40 to 100 psi. They make a normal range, which is like it's like 40 to 50 or 40 to 60 psi. I actually don't know what its range is, but it's about half of what this is. So if you're doing a normal 40 to say 60 psi motor, I think they're a little bit more. I think they're about 60. So an LS motor or an older motor that are 43.5 base, the normal range one's fine. If you're doing atomizers or precisions or APHIS injectors, you're going to want the extended one. And if you're going above the rate of the upper rate of the pressure on these, which is this is 100 psi, which people would say, well, I run 90 psi base. Yeah. Then you put 40 pounds of boost on it, and now you got 120 psi of rail pressure. If you're going to do that, then you need to vacuum reference it. If you're not going to exceed the 100 psi or the whatever the one's rated at, then you don't have to reference it at all. So I've not been impressed with a product like this in a very long time. Anybody who's worked on OEM cars knows that dampers are part of OEM almost every car, especially deadhead systems. I want to say in the performance side, we got in this bad habit of removing and capping that stuff. And once you see this video, I think you're going to never do that again. So I can't say enough good about this. It's a billet piece all around. Comes with 8AN adapters, O-ring bug adapters. It's got a bracket and some tubing and screws. It's got everything you need. It's really a really great piece. Manufactured super cleanly, super well. I'm just impressed all around with this thing. It's been a while since I've been impressed. They go for about $160 each. Really, really sweet piece. So what we have here, again, injectors at about 6,000 RPM, 50% duty cycle. This side, I have not put the damper on. This side over here, I have put the damper on. We're gonna run the rough side first, and then you're gonna see what the damper does. Up here on the, trying to see what your field of view looks like. Over here, the left gauge, you kind of disregard. That's for the low pressure stuff. So I'm doing 43.5 stuff, that needle's straight up and down. When I'm doing 90 psi stuff, this needle's straight up and down. When you see these gauge faces go red, that means, at least on the 90 psi, it exceeded 4 psi from what it was set to. There's a yellow face in there, but it actually skips so fast over that doesn't even show it. And up here on the fuel rails, I have mechanical fuel pressure gauges that are isolated, are dampened with glycerin. The problem with both of these is that they've been hammered so many times over the years because injector connectors have wiggled out or an injector just didn't work. The Borden tubes inside bent. These are 100 psi gauges, so 90 psi base. You start rattling it with that stuff with the hydraulic hammer, it bent the internals. But they're really good still at showing the quality of the fuel pressure, seeing what the spikes are, and mechanically right at the rail. So it'd be 15 seconds on the bad side, 15 seconds on the good side. I'm gonna show off the gauges on the ECU, what it's showing us, and this is gonna sell itself. And you know what? I wish I could somehow monetize this. Holley won't probably send me a nickel for it, but you're gonna want this. Let's get after it. Doing to that 4 gauge there. Listen to how much smoother it is. Look at how the gauge is. Look at the computer. It's not banging the red gauge face anymore on that 90 psi one. Yeah, it's moving. It's always going to move. But I just can't get over how much smoother everything is. Let me stop this machine here. So this is where I failed in the one bit. I have to zoom out. So Isn't that crazy? That to me, that's crazy. Like I said, to go from brutalizing this bench and just completely ravishing the fuel pressure to being that smooth in a worst case scenario. That is one 500-pound injector at 50% duty cycle, and it in a worst case scenario fuel system setup, deadheaded, and that damper just swallows all that pulsation. I've never thought about one of these for my car. It wasn't even a consideration. I don't know. We always ripped them off cars, it seemed. And if it was on a car, we definitely never checked to see if it worked. I'm buying these for my car. Actually, I might end up put 2 of them on there. I am just that impressed with how well that damper works as far as the quality. I think if you have a high-end program, I mean, they're $160. I mean, they're not, I mean, for the cost of what we spend on these things, they're not that expensive. And for the quality of or accuracy of fueling, the potential reduction in maintenance, because you're not hammering the crap out of your poor regulator and fuel pump, and the possible reduction in fire risk because you're not getting these massive spikes that could pop an O-ring. It's a no-brainer. So like I said, a bunch of companies make it. I can't say enough good about these Holleys. I would recommend these to everybody I see. Radium makes one as well. I've seen some other ones, but that's a slick piece there. So that's what I got. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys got to see some stuff that you don't normally get to see. That's the cool thing about a bench like this, is I get to see stuff that people normally wouldn't see, and I try to shoot a video and pass it along. So fuel injector services, if you need help with your fuel injectors, bikes, sleds, generators, boats, from little stuff around the house to offshore boats and pro mods, we can take care of you. Take care.